Giants coach Ben McAdoo and longtime general manager Jerry Reese have been fired. Once again, Eli Manning is the quarterback, and Geno Smith has been benched. McAdoo was promised to coach the rest of the season, and outside pressure clearly impacted the decision. With no playoffs at stake, McAdoo wanted to evaluate his bench, including Smith. It was a decision owner John Mara signed off on. Many took exception to such a crazy thought. This author does not, and has explained why in great detail. Either way, McAdoo left behind just one 2017 glimpse of Smith. And we should examine it because Smith showed promise across 5 areas. During such emotional times, this author has 2 not-so-simple requests. 1. Forget Ellis. Benching Smith has been unfairly caught in the middle, and his performance should be judged strictly on football. 2. Pretend Geno Smith was Davis Webb, or some other young QB you never saw. Pretend you had no preconceived notions. Pretend Geno is not some old man, but just turned 27, with a career interrupted by injury at 24. In a league where Jimmy Garoppolo is treated like a kid at 26, and Case Keenum is finding his way at 29, Geno's game Sunday deserves a fresh, honest look. Ellis' working conditions have been well documented. With Geno, the offensive line remained absolutely atrocious, the rushing attack remained non-existent 52 yards outside of Geno, and the Giants' best receivers remain injured. Officially, Geno was 21 for 34 for 212 yards and a 2 count. Not too bad for a guy with a prior ACL injury, 2 years of inactivity, and Khalil Mack in his face on every snap. After reviewing the tape of every one of his throws multiple times, my positive feelings about his performance have doubled. Geno very quietly had a very promising game. Here is why. 1. Geno's throws were extremely accurate. Watch the tape. Outside of a few throwaways to avoid sacks, nearly all of Smith's passes were catchable. Many drives ended with well-thrown balls that resulted in dropped passes. Raiders players draped all over the receiver but no calls, and a likely 3-yard down completion to Tavares King was ruled out of bounds and was never challenged. There was little rust, and a costly drop by King that sailed off his hands on a crucial 3-yard down late in the game. There were really no bad incompletions. In the same game, Derek Carr threw 2 passes that should have been easy interceptions were they not dropped by Landon Collins and Brendan Dixon, who played well. There was nothing like that with Geno. If you simply look at their passes, Smith outplayed Carr. But it was Marshawn Lynch who really saved the Raiders' day. Lachlan Cunningham. Getty Images. Both Smith and Carr tended to throw short passes throughout the game as both lacked openings downfield. Michael Crabtree, Carr's best wide receiver, was suspended. Many of Geno's quick throws were also hastened by the relentless pass rush. As Geno got more comfortable, that started to change. 2. Geno's nice rapport with Evan Engram. With 7 catches for 99 yards and a 2 count, Evan Engram had his best game of his rookie season. Their 10-yard 2 count brought the Giants within 3 points with 5:16 left in the game, but the defense, which played well for 3 quarters, could not hold on to allow another comeback opportunity. Just as revealing as that Engram's 99-yard performance is also a career high for any Geno Smith tight end. His primary Jets tight end was Jeff Cumberland, who was used more as a blocker but still managed his best career year with Smith in 2013. Any GM should want to see more of Geno paired with a pass-catching tight end. Perhaps the poster child for the value of a good tight end is Kirk Cousins. An article last December pointed out that Cousins was 16,101 with a 102.5 passer rating when he played with his Pro Bowl tight end Jordan Reed, but his record and rating plummeted to 110 and 75.6 when Reed was out injured. Smith and Engram developing over the next few games would have been worth exploring, and seeing what could develop. 3. Geno led 2 meaningful 2-count drives, the first time since Odell Beckham got injured. Smith's 2 count to Engram capped off an 88-yard drive. He also led a 74-yard first-half drive. In that previous drive, Orleans' Dark was 1-yard run was set up by the 2 key passes to Engram, and a key 3-yard down pass to Sterling Shepard for a first down at the 1-yard line. The Giants' offense had not scored a single offensive 2-count in the previous 2 games. 2 meaningful 2-count drives at HASNT happened in 6 games, or since Beckham and Brandon Marshall went down with injuries. The only times the Giants' offense produced a second touchdown were in fourth-quarter garbage time of 2 blowout losses. That's not just Ellis' fault, as the offensive line is truly offensive. Geno two-count drives should be measured against the standard Eli has already set, and Geno exceeded that standard in his only game. But after these drives unfold, the reason was clear. For Geno, mobility was marked the greatest difference. Smith's mobility was one of the areas McAdoo cited in wanting to evaluate. It was also the most noticeable difference between him and Manning. Smith's mobility was a key factor in both two-count drives. In the first, he was able to avoid a Khalil Mack sack to produce a 15-yard pass to Engram on third down. In the second, he did the same to get a key first down with his legs. These were the types of plays that previously resulted in Manning sacks or throwaways. Led by Mack and Bruce Irvin, Smith was under intense pressure the majority of the game, and for most of it, was able to avoid, sidestep or quick throw past it. But not always. 5 Geno's mistakes are correctable. Smith fumbled twice, with one turning out to be the play of the game when Mack tore through the line to sack and stripped Smith on an amazing play at the end of the first half with the Giants at the 5-yard line. In the other fumble, an untouched Bruce Irvin stripped Geno from the blind side. Geno did, however, fail to change the offensive line protection at the line of scrimmage to pick up the blitz. After recognizing it, he pointed out the overload on the left side to Shane Vereen. Though this is coachable, something he should be able to improve upon with more first-team reps. Since Geno had some vision on the Mack play, you can argue he should have protected the ball better. Fine, but you know what, it was Khalil freaking Mack, the reigning NFL's Defensive Player of the Year. He faced Chad Wheeler, an undrafted rookie. I'd start my corrective process right there. After avoiding Mack throughout the game, Mack won. Sometimes you just tip your cap. Kerry Edmondson, USA Today Sports. As the Giants game started, Blaine Gabbert opened his Cardinals game with 2 interceptions, including a pick-6 before completing a single pass. These Geno fumbles were not that. Now around the league, Gabbert's interceptions came a couple of days after an SB Nation article titled "Gabbert Should Inspire Confidence for the Future of the Arizona Cardinals." Gabbert is now 10-33 for his career. After Sunday's 49ers Bears matchup, ESPN's title was "Ex-Bear Robbie Gould's Revenge Obscures Mitchell Trubisky's Modest Growth." The article read, "Garoppolo has the potential to be a really successful starting quarterback. Let's see how much better Garoppolo is next year with an entire offseason in Kyle Shanahan's offense and better weapons." Trubisky, who likely will be in a new offense next season, finished the game 12 of 15 for just 102 yards, but there were bright spots. Are you catching all this? Both quarterbacks come out winners here. There are no losers. The number 2 draft pick Trubisky also has bright spots. But Trubisky is currently 26. Rookie Geno was 88 with a league-leading 5-game winning drives for a team most experts predicted would win just 3 games back in 2013. It is a factually correct statement to say Geno saved Rex Ryan's job. Let's test this potential approach these other QBs receive with Geno Smith, never given weapons and still only 27, has the potential to be a really successful starting quarterback. Let's see how much better by Smith is next year with an improved offensive line, Odell Beckham and an improving Engram. But instead, this was ESPN's title yesterday. Nick, what's up? Geno Smith has uninspiring performance in place of Eli Manning. What this title is actually mild compared to some of the media vitriol poured on Smith, who has been reduced to a prop for those mad at Ellis benching. This constant media misframing of Smith inspired me to write the very long 3,300 words, but very necessary, the insane untapped potential of Geno Smith to set the record straight on Smith's career that was identical to young Drew Brees at the time it was interrupted. Smith has never been given a chance to be successful in New York, and after McAdoo's firing, likely never will. But other NFL GMs should take notice. If judged purely on football grounds, McAdoo correctly saw something in Geno worth exploring further. Coming off ACL surgery, 2 years of inactivity, a disapproving media and a relentless Raider pressure, Smith played damn well. That is an objective fact. And for those who don't believe that to be true, just pretend you were assessing him like Jimmy Garoppolo, or Mitchell Trubisky, or Davis Webb, or even Eli Manning, and then write about it.